Well, everything is horrible now. The colony has been devastated. We lost geoponics. Our mom died. We lost the governor. And even the music is more somber than it usually is this time of year. I don't even know if there is a way for us to bounce back from this. I mean, realistically. What's a bunch of 15-year-olds are going to do in this situation? Everyone is still starving, which is not good for a growing adolescent person. Okay, let's survey the damage a little bit. Oof. We basically lost the entire living area. And the depot. And all of geoponics. And we can't even go outside because the door is also wrecked. Wow. Really, looks like the science wing is the only part of the colony that is somehow still intact. Ah, shit. How's everyone holding up? It's been hard to talk to your dad about everything. Losing your mom, then losing the colony right after. It's too much to take. Neither of you know what to say. Yeah. Pretty sure. There's no one left alive in the colony. Who is in high spirits. I know it's hard, Cal says, fiddling nervously with the tassel on his shirt. But I just think, what would your mom do right now? She wouldn't complain, that's for sure. Yeah, you're right, Cal. She would not complain. And it is exactly that silently suffering bullheadedness that led her to overwork herself. So I would rather not use her as a base. With all due respect. Oh, wait. Since all of geoponics is destroyed, does that mean that Sox is gone? Please tell me Sox isn't gone. Kelly's going to need a new pet. How are you two doing? Tangent frowns. I just don't understand, she says. Why now? Why does it keep getting worse? Well, it was glow season, and things usually go wrong in glow season. But yeah, I am with you. It just keeps escalating. Like they don't like that we are still here. Hey, Mars? Mars crosses her arms and sulks. What is the point of having all these kudos if I can't actually use them to, buy stuff we need? Hello? It's not like I can mail order more supplies through the wormhole. Yeah, tough luck, girl. There isn't really a consumer society. If there is nothing left to consume. This is examining a bit of rubble, turning it over in his hands. I wonder if we're ever gonna find, alien tech, he says. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, it would be cool. It also wouldn't really help us. Unless we were to find something like an abandoned colony or something. Because what we need first and foremost is to rebuild. Not sure we can survive among all this rubble. Well, and also, if the colony is destroyed, do we even need to stay here? We could just pack up our things and go. Perhaps find another place. Okay, what can we do in here? Wow. We simply just have mourn as stress relief. Yeah, I get you. Oh, and we cannot study anymore? I suppose we have more practical things to worry about. But somehow we can register for engineering classes. And applying for tutoring? Yeah, I think what we need, more than anything, is rebuilding. Toughness and organizing, you say? Well, getting back a bit of toughness isn't such a bad idea, actually. We're probably not seeing more combat. Oh, we can't change it. Let's fix that real quick. Like this. The first month of quiet passes, each day plodding one after the other. You still have trouble sleeping in the classroom barracks, but there's nowhere else to go. Every day you wake with the others and try to make the best of it. Grief and anger come in waves, not just for you, but for everyone. Some days are better than others. Also, haven't we seen this exact image before? In one of our dream sequences. Interesting. You're assigned to help rebuild the walls. The first part of the month is spent just dragging away the wreckage, sorting it into salvage or recycling. By the time that's done, crews disassembling parts of the stratospheric have delivered enough salvage that you can begin work patching up the walls. A sense of urgency permeates the crew. After everything, people need to feel safe. Well, I'm not sure, actually, how safe it is to rebuild the wall. Exactly the same as it was, considering that it didn't stop the previous stampede. This is on the work crew with you, something he does begrudgingly. Woz didn't help the first time, he grumbles whenever anyone asks for his opinion. We should just tear them all down and live like the animals do. If someone planted a bunch of buildings on my land, I'd be pissed off too. You do make a good point. However, I think the wall at least keeps the smaller ones out. At least a little bit. So maybe deterrence is good here actually, even if it doesn't stop everything. Let's just keep working. By the end of the month, you've made noticeable progress. There are other priorities and not a lot of construction material. But when last year's mushwood harvest is done drying out, you'll be able to do more. Even if this is right that it didn't help the first time, it's better than nothing. Tangent and Chief Engineer Instance have been hard at work in the lab trying to find a cure for the Shimmer disease. Oh yeah, there's also that. I hope they're making progress. Otherwise, we will also lose our dead. You joined them in their research. You're the one who found a sample of the Shimmer fungus and analyzed it. You're the one whose father suffers the most from it. You confirmed that the Shimmer is an airborne fungal disease, and that the thick, choking spores in pollen are the same fungi from the Valley of Vertigo, the ones that colonize the host and turn their bodies into more spore-producing fungus. Finally, you have a long new breakthrough. Sunlight. You try inoculations, antibiotics, antifungal creams, but what finally works is a high-intensity light treatment, mimicking the full force of the suns during dust, coupled with an injection to increase its potency. Of course, Tang exclaims, the fungus colonizes animal life during pollen, and some succumb to it, but the intense light of dust scorches the fungus from the survivors. It's all part of the natural cycle. The treatment works on samples, now to test it on a subject. I think it's quite risky. Testing on our dead first? Not sure how we would test on ourselves, considering that we are not infected. And I have a feeling testing it on animals isn't really going to work, especially considering every animal we have is a native here, and thus they have some sort of tolerance to it already. So I think it's easier to test a milder reaction on myself. You open a triple-locked research room and pass through an airlock. You don't have your enviro suit on, but that's the point. You need a strong dose of this fungus in your lungs. The small room is filled with the shimmer fungus. It's growing on everything, the floor and walls, and on lumpy shapes that were some kind of biological matter once. Now, it's all just fungus, violet and shiny. You breathe deeply, marveling in the feeling of soupy dangerous air infiltrating your body. Ugh. I would not do that voluntarily. Tang watches safely from behind the thick plexiglass. You can't tell if she's jealous or impressed. Probably impressed with our bravery in advancing science. And a little jealous that she didn't think of it herself. Next, you slide into the light therapy machine to bask in the nice warm light for a while. You even have a nap. Not much else to do in there. I'm going to imagine it's kinda like a solarium. You just lie down and do nothing for a while. Dr. Instance takes your vitals and runs samples of your fluids through various machines. She's excruciatingly thorough, but after a few days she concludes that the treatment is a success. You still carry a high fungal load, but its effects have been nullified by the light therapy. And let's just hope that we can evacuate the rest of the spores. Remarkable, Instance says, going over your findings. Now that we have a frontline therapy, we can begin treating the population to prevent the fungus from taking hold. At least some good we have. I would say it's too little too late. But we will see. At least we can keep the survivors alive. She looks over at Tang. Soul's discovery will be of great help with our other research. You expect tangent might be crossed that you got the credit, but she nods, looking pleased. You're just thankful that no one was killed, not your father or anyone else. The colony is safe from the shimmer. The sun's finally dawn again on your birthday. You wake early and climb to the top of engineering to watch the first sun's watery rays break the horizon as the wormhole recedes across the sky. Dawn should represent hope after a long period of darkness, but this light only reveals the full extent of the damage to the colony. You've been having trouble sleeping, like most people. It's hard to find rest crammed into the classroom with all the other kids and their families, and every time you close your eyes you see. You shake your head to clear the memories. You pull your blanket more tightly around your shoulders. Not your blanket that one's gone, and stare out as the sun rises on the horizon, meager and sickly. Hey, kiddo, you hear, then your dad comes and sits down beside you. I was looking for you. Nice view, huh? Least we got a rooftop patio out of the deal. He laughs a little at his own joke, then just sort of trails off with a sigh afterward. He puts his arm around your shoulders, and you sit in silence for a while, watching the sunrise pick out all the broken glass littering the fields, glimmering like a field of stars. Neither of you really know what to say. It's clear your dad feels like he has to give you a pep talk, but there's an oppressive nature to the silence that makes it feel impossible for either of you to start. Yeah, how would you even start? We both know what's going on. And we probably have the same things to say. Eventually, he just sighs and his shoulders slump. I know things seem pretty bad right now, he says, squinting into the sunrise. It sounds like it's taking all his effort to not cry. But it'll get better. It has to, right? You're not so sure. At least your mom wasn't here to see this, he mutters. That's the silver lining, I guess. You watch the sunrise together for a few more minutes. After a bit, your dad musters up a brave smile and pulls out a little box tied with a piece of gardening twine. Happy birthday, my little rutabaga, he says. You know what it is before you open it. Your old medallion, the one your dad made with the sun on it to represent Earth, was broken during the attack. In all the chaos, you didn't even notice, but your dad did and made you a new one. It's just like you remembered. A similar design with a wormhole this time, to represent Vertamna. You thank him and squint out at the swirling wormhole still barely visible in the brightening sky. It's so massive and awe-inspiring this time of year, but it always seems to herald disaster. You're happy to watch it fade away into the daylight. Your dad slaps you on the back. What a birthday, huh? Here's hoping they all get better from here. If we have another? Sure, that's a nice sentiment. You both head back downstairs to the wreckage of the canteen, where they've put up temporary roofing with whatever tarps and scraps could be found. The colony nanoprinters, the few that still run, have been working day and night to replace the necessities of life, but larger construction projects are going to take some time. Aunt Anne has coaxed the kitchen nanoprinters into making soy gruel and pressed bars. Life-sustaining but depressing. You and the other colonists eat your breakfast in stony silence as you mentally prepare for the day. Chief Administrator Seek has taken over as interim governor until the council can elect someone new. Last week they had a mass funeral for everyone who died. There's talk of turning the Stratospheric's destroyed front half into a memorial shrine after everything useful has been salvaged. There's still so much to do. Yeah, we're kinda rebuilding everything. It's even worse than rebuilding from scratch. We also have to clear the rubble first. So it's even more hard work. And still, there is literally nothing else to do but rebuild. Maybe I can apply, just to see where this gets us. That notice is still on the engineering holoweb. Chief Engineer Instance needs someone to help with after-school tutoring. Literally anyone who isn't a complete idiot will do, because she's desperate. Please apply. Okay, we can apply. I have a feeling if Tammy was still here, she would either try it herself or urge us to take it. You tell Dr. Instance you're interested in the job. She looks up from her holopalm like she's just noticed you exist. Yes, you'll do, she says, nodding. The younger, slower kids have trouble keeping up with congruence sometimes. You mostly just have to pat them on the back now and then, and stop them from wandering off when they're supposed to be studying. No offense, but anyone with a pulse could do it. You wait for further instruction. Instant sighs shooing you away dismissively. You know where the classrooms are. Just come when you're not doing whatever nonsense teenagers do here. Unlocked tutoring in engineering. Okay, and we cannot do it. Because this isn't the proper time. But it is still an option now. Let's continue rebuilding. You're assigned to help out in geoponics, or whatever is left of it. The agriculturists have been hard at work trying to salvage what they can of the ruined fields and the destroyed greenhouses, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Your dad has taken over as chief cultivator. Succeeding your mom was already difficult for him, and now there's this. He's never been the kind of guy to hide from hard work, but he's been pretty distant lately. Cal's working in geoponics too, of course. He smiles when he sees you. Hey Sol, there's lots of stuff to do. What do you want to work on? Repair greenhouses, work in the fields, or rebuild the animal pens? We have very good animal skills. Working in the fields is probably toughness. I don't know what repairing the greenhouses would entail. I think what we need, more than anything, is just fields that we can cultivate. Let's go there. You and Cal are set to work in the fields. Luckily, they were mostly empty during Glow, but quiet is supposed to be a season of planting. With the deep, compacted trenches where the massive faceless stomped all over the colony defenders, the fields are in worse shape than when you landed. You are set the task of aerating the soil. You and Cal trade off, one of you guiding a bot with a dangerous-looking aeration extension, while the other uses a shovel and sometimes a pickaxe to loosen the soil and dig out pieces of debris. Oh, that reminds me. There was that little section of geoponics that we had for our alternate food supply. I wonder if that is also destroyed, or somehow some of it is alive. It was kinda like a fungus or lichen, right? Those can usually take a beating, bounce back just fine. Then there's the spark snow. It will raise the soil acidity if it sits long enough to melt, and your earth crops hate that. When you're not aerating the soil, you're trying to keep it from piling up. There are tarps laid out over the fields, but shoveling the snow from the tarps is back-breaking work too. It's exhausting. Everyone is worried that this will be the final nail in the coffin for your food supply after the famine last year. You try not to think about it too hard, instead focusing on just doing what you can to help rebuild. Not like there is anything else to do. You're eating in the mess tents when you hear something rumbling. Oh no, what is it this time? Your bowl and cutlery start rattling. People look around in alarm. Could it be another attack so soon? You begin to hear shouting from outside. Someone runs into the tent. There's something falling from the sky, they shout. It's on fire. So it's entering the atmosphere, most likely. So it's either a meteor or another spaceship. You join the crowd of people leaving your temporary structures together in the colony square. People are squinting up into the milky quiet sunlight, pointing and gesturing wildly. It's impossible to miss the thing hurtling towards you from space, like a great big ball of fire coming straight for you. Is this it? Is this the end? After all you've been through, a meteor's gonna land in the middle of your already ruined colony and kill you all. Yep, it was a ship. Mars grabs your shoulder. It's another ship, she exclaims. Look, look, it's another spaceship from Earth. Excitement ripples through the crowd. Could it be? Well, just because it's a spaceship, it's not 100% guarantee that it's also from Earth. You stare up, unbelieving, at the rapidly approaching ship. The flames of its entry into the atmosphere dissipate, but a thick column of greasy black smoke trails behind it. Soon you can hear the whistle of it ripping through the atmosphere at terminal velocity. Yeah, that does not look like controlled descent. They're probably gonna crash. It's an enormous ship coming at you way too fast. The ship's reverse thrusters fire, trying to slow it down so it doesn't smash into a billion pieces when it hits the planet. Everyone scatters to take cover. You crouch behind some rocks, throw your arms over your head, and squeeze your eyes shut. That wouldn't help you any. If it were to land close enough. You hear the massive spaceship touch down in geoponics, plowing through the fields and grinding over what was left of the greenhouses. Motherfucker, I was working on that. You're thrown to the ground from the force of the impact as shrapnel and small rocks zing past your head. It grinds along like some roaring monster, cutting a great scar through the colony and kicking up an enormous cloud of dust. Finally, the ship comes to a creaking, shuddering halt. You and the other colonists carefully crawl out of your hiding places, coughing and rubbing your eyes. The new ship is half buried and obscured by dust, but you can tell it's from Earth. You squint to make out stenciled letters. Heliopause. A hatch opens in its side, and silhouettes begin to emerge. Silhouettes with guns. Oh, that does not sound good. Soldiers march out of the dust and quickly surround all of the remaining colonists. More soldiers form two parallel lines from the ship to the square, their guns in parade rest, and the lone figure strides down the center towards you. Greetings, fugitives of Earth, the man says, spreading his hands wide. Okay, I know it's not nice to judge based on first impressions, but this guy 100% looks like a huge douche. I really hope we don't have to deal with him. A dismayed murmur ripples through the crowd. The adults exchange significant looks. Chief Engineer Instance tries to slip out of the crowd, but she's stopped by the line of soldiers. The man smiles. He has a broad, easygoing smile that doesn't match the threatening aura of the soldiers, nor the smoking ruin of the ship behind him. I am Commander Lam, he says proudly. As captain of the Heliopause, I have come to render aid and bring you to justice. Are you sure? Are you really sure that crashing into the ruins of this colony was all premeditated? You have to forgive me, but I don't buy that shit. Let's see, maybe he has something sensible to say. Seek steps forward out of the crowd. You're not the commander of the Heliopause, they say firmly. Governor Udicott was expecting Commander Morikawa. Everyone is surprised. Udicott had been in communication with this ship. For how long? Interesting. I didn't even know we had radio equipment. Considering that this entire colony started when a bunch of people wanted to be free from Earth. Doesn't really make sense to be communicating with the place. Maybe the governor knew something that we didn't. I am captain of the Heliopause, Lam repeats stubbornly, then adds, according to the chain of command, we sustained significant loss of personnel when we went through the wormhole. You can't help but notice many of the soldiers exchange looks this time. You wonder how many people had to die before Lam became commander. Well, obviously, everyone before him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be the captain. As the commanding officer, Lam continues, I declare this colony to be under our protection. As such, you are all now subject to the laws of Earth. Yeah, this guy is definitely from the States. Who the fuck uses logic like this? Sieg bows. Now, they stammer. There's no need for dramatics. We're a diminished colony, as you see. Governor Udicott died in the most recent attack, and Fluorescent passed away a few months ago. Even Technician Halitosis is gone. You see, we're quite leaderless. Wait, your mom? What would these Earth cops have wanted from your mom? You notice Chief Engineer Instance is being held with her arms behind her back. She glowers at Lam with unbridled hatred. Okay, so some of the colonists were in fact running away from Earth. Not everyone was a bored hippie trying to make a new life. Okay. Lam turns to the assembled colonists. Well, why don't we fix that, he declares. Say hello to your new governor. You hear a few gasps of shock and outrage, and Lam raises his hands placatingly. Let's not pretend you don't need our help, he says. And we could simply arrest you instead. But there's no need to demoralize your little colony further. Judging from the number of guns on display, you don't think you have a choice in this. Apparently we do not. But my question for you, new governor, is what the fuck are you going to do with us? Even if you were to arrest us. It's not like you're leaving this planet anytime soon. Just saying. No one knows how to react. A new governor from Earth. Nearly 100 new colonists, most of them trained soldiers. What does this mean for the colony? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means even more mouths to feed. And we still have nothing set up yet. Because their ship so rudely went through geoponics of all places. So now we have to start the whole thing again. That's what it means. The crowd disperses slowly, and the council members follow Lam back into the Heliopause, presumably to talk about the future of the colony. You hope? You track down your friends. So, what do you think about these new people? Mars asks. Well, considering that they're a bunch of dicks, and they have guns, obviously, they're not going to play super nice with us. Tangent nods. They don't live here. They don't know what it's like, and they're just going to swoop in and act like they're better than us. She hugs her arms around herself. Did you see what they were doing to Instance? The entire colony, now twice as many of you, sets to work on salvaging the wreckage of the Heliopause, tearing it down and combining it with the Stratospheric's remaining engine section. Spirits are high, though these new colonists from the Heliopause aren't like any people you've ever met before. With their uniforms and weapons, they're more like an invading force than a rescue. You aren't sure what this means for the colony, or for your future. Well, if I am to be optimistic, I would like to say, at the very least, it means survival. As the dust settles, you rebuild your colony around this new ship, the Heliopause. The new arrivals, soldiers mainly, are aloof at first. Many see you as fugitives. Together you build new walls, living quarters, greenhouses, and a massive bunkered garrison. The Stratos engineering wing is the only reminder of your old colony. The Heliopause brought enough rations for another 5 years, as well as a rich seed bank and working hydroponics. Finally, an end to the slow starvation you fed for years. They also have more guns and explosives than you've ever seen in your life. Even the ship has guns. A full stomach, a roof over your heads, and a promise of safety convinces most Exocolonists to accept the Helios. Again, not much choice any of us has in the matter. In turn, the Helios decide that you criminals pose little threat. A grudging peace is brokered between the two groups. You decide they aren't so different really. There are even Helio children born among the stars just like you. After a month of hard work, you and your dad move into your new quarters, and you have your own bedroom for the first time in your life. You place a picture of your mother on the shelves beside your bed. You step out onto your very own balcony to watch the new colony, its grounds bustling with so many strangers and strange new ideas. You feel something rising in your chest that you haven't felt in some time. Hope. Excitement. What will the new day bring? You better get out there and find out. Okay, so the colony has bolstered its defense, and we're no longer starving. Okay. So everything is rebuilt now. Oh, and even the layout of the colony changed a little bit. Oh, hello, new people. Yeah, geoponics is on the whole other half. Wow, did they actually build the whole place bigger? Well, I suppose, since all the walls got demolished. They did have the space for that. And the science wing is over here. Well, our life has just taken a big turn. I'm gonna need a little time to think on it, what all of this means. But for now, thank you for watching. If you like this story, then please give the video a like, helps me with the algorithm. And as always, I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, take care of yourselves. We have a vaccine now, so it is safe to inhale the spores. And have a nice day.